Well, welcome back, everybody. I see the crowd thin, but just a little bit, and we're glad to have the candidates for county executive here with us tonight. We've been reading about y'all in the paper quite a bit, and you're enjoying a lot of well-attended functions at Dutch's daughter. We welcome you to the Thurmont Middle School cafeteria. We're so glad to have you all here tonight. We know that this is an important race. Everybody's got their phones silenced, I hope, still. Thank you. We're going to introduce the candidates for county executive now, also alphabetically, beginning with Republican Kathy Zog. Democrat Jan Gardner. And the unaffiliated candidate, Earl Robin. We're going to have exactly the same ground rules as we had for the previous forum, so I probably don't need to dwell on that, except please be respectful of each other and be positive. As I said before, we've been getting a lot of mail from you. And everybody here has, I think. So we want you to please be respectful. And let us know why you want us to vote for you, not why we should not vote for the other candidate. Please speak to the issues and stick to the time limits. 2 minutes, the yellow card, Kim, if you'll hold that up there. That's the 1.5 minute card, and then you'll hear the bell when the time is up, 2 minutes. Thank you very much. Let's draw the order of speaking. What number did you get today?
Oh, what did I get?
Number 1. Okay, I'm sure that you all do not deserve the lecture that I gave the congressional candidates about not getting anything done, because you all are doing productive work, and we appreciate it, but there's a lot more that could be done. And partisanship is not left at the door. There's still a good deal of that going on in the county and in the candidates for county executive. But we're not fed up with you like we are with the congressional. We kind of like what you represent, and we want to hear what you're going to do for us. So we'll start with Kathy, who drew number 1. And please tell us about yourself. You've got 2 minutes to tell us everything you want us to know. Why would you vote?
Well, good evening, everybody. I'm Kathy Ozale, as you know. I pulled number 1, which is just kind of funny because my name starts with an A, so I'm usually the one who always has to go first anyway. And every time we draw lots, I still pull number 1. So it's just my lot in life that I have to go first. So it's my great honor to be here this evening. I'm sorry. It feels like morning, but I am Delegate Kathy Ozale. I have been very honored to represent Thurmont as well as really half of Frederick County in the Maryland State Legislature for the last 8 years. It's always fun, and I do see the mayor here. He seems to be the guy of the night that everyone's mentioning. I do enjoy coming up here and being a part of the Thurmont community as much as I can. I've served in the Maryland House of Delegates, and we learn about bipartisanship in the Maryland House of Delegates, and I believe that some of those sensibilities that I've learned, as well as my business background and the things that I've done on the nonprofit level as well throughout my life have uniquely equipped me to be the next Frederick County executive. As Jamie Raskin, and I'll probably get my flag here in a minute, but I heard Congressman Raskin talking about some things that frankly I completely and totally disagreed with him, and I could go on and on about how much. But one thing we did learn, and I did work with then Senator Raskin in the state legislature, we did learn how to work together and how to get along. And you know, the first month I was in Annapolis, I got the Democrat Governor Martin O'Malley, to agree to pass the estate tax for farmers bill that that ended up passing through the state legislature. So I did that as a freshman Republican with no clout. I was a low rung of a low ladder, but you can get things done when you do speak to each other. I've been increasingly frustrated with what's happening in Frederick County. So anyway, we'll go on about that, but thank you for having us here tonight.
Gate number 2, Earl, I believe you're right.
Good evening. Good evening. My name is Earl Robbins, and I'm running for county executive of Frederick County. I'm running because I have the leadership and management skills to address the changing dynamics and demographics of Frederick County. I bring honesty and integrity to the position, and I'm willing to listen to my constituency, and the people with whom I work. I want to serve the people of Frederick County. I have developed my leadership and management skills through my 40 years of working in industry. 35 of them was with East Alco and Alcoa. During that time, I have worked as a cost accountant, worked as the safety manager for the plant, the manager of public and government affairs. When I retired, I was the director of state and local government affairs for Alcoa. I'm not a elected official like my two opponents, but I have been involved in the community. I've served on the boards of United Way, and I was president of the board. I was chairman of the United Way campaign, way back in 1982. I've served on the board of Associates Wood College, and I was president of the board of Associates at Wood College. And I also served on the board of the Chamber of Commerce, and I was president of the board of the Chamber of Commerce. I've also served as a mentor for the Necktie Club in 4 Frederick high schools. We were actually in Catoctin High School for 2 years. We're not in there right now, but we are planning on coming back. So I'm a person who, as an independent, can listen to folks on both sides of the aisle. So please consider me for your county executive.
Good evening, I'm Frederick County Executive Jan Gardner. It's a real privilege to be here this evening with all of you. I love coming up to Thurmont. Emmitsburg. It is a beautiful part of the county. I was just here this weekend for Color Fest, and I'm glad to see that the Lions recovered from all the food line at Color Fest, because it was quite a crowd, at least on Saturday. I'm happy to work in partnership with the town on a number of issues, and I think we have a great working relationship with the community. I think you should vote for me because I think I am the best choice for the job. I think that the best thing I could say is that I've delivered proven leadership and proven results to this community. I've been proud to be the first county executive in Frederick County and to have stood up our first a new form of government called charter government. I've restored trust and honesty to government. We now have the strongest ethics laws that we pass at the county level in the state of Maryland, and we've delivered functional government. So I think all the drama that we saw in the prior administration has really pretty much come to an end. And we've invested in core services. We've invested in education, put the best teachers in the classroom. We've built needed schools. We've invested in senior services. We've saved citizens in Montague. And I have to tell you, this job is about management. We manage, as county executive manages 17 divisions, 2,100 employees, and a $600 million budget. And you need to have somebody, you need to hire somebody who has that background and experience. So when we save citizens in Montague, what's important is that we've made it operate in a financially self-sustaining manner. Managing growth is a big deal in this county. We've ended some of the development agreements that were bad deals of the past. I renegotiated some of them, saving over $50 million from renegotiating some of those bad deals of the past. And we've earned a AAA bond rating, and so that has really helped us to save money in terms of refinancing our debt. So at the end of the day, my job is to make life better for people, and I believe that's what I've done. Thank you.
previous panel, so I won't have to get as detailed as I did, but the next question has to do with the livable wage. We actually started out with that being about number 4. And the more we read in the paper, the more we talked to our contemporaries, the higher that became on the list. So tonight we're going to ask you to tell us how you plan to improve the lives of our citizens who struggle to meet basic needs. And if you're ever up this way and on a Tuesday or a Friday, you can see what happens at our food bank. It's unbelievable. So we'll begin with Jan.
Certainly, the economy has not evenly recovered for all people. We just had an ALICE report that came out that shows that the affordability of people to live here has not been even, and some people are still struggling. In our school system, about 1 in 4 students are farm students and are defined as living in poverty and qualify for free and reduced lunches. So, solutions. Long-term, I believe the long-term solution is public education. We have to keep the promise of public education so that we make sure that we have the next workforce to keep our economy going. Workforce development is important for people out there who are looking for work or looking for better employment. We have co-located our workforce services with the Monroe Training Center of the community college. We're only one of 2 counties in Maryland that has done that. So we can train people for jobs that actually exist in our community. And we have to attract better paying jobs. And we're doing that too. And we do that with a plan. We have put together what we call a GO strategy, a growth opportunities strategy. We had an economist come in from the University of Baltimore to help us develop this plan so we can take advantages of our opportunities for jobs. We've added 6,500 net new jobs during my term, and we're not only looking to attract big employers, and we do have a potential new big employer that is looking to move into Urbana, which will bring high-paying jobs. But we're also looking to support our existing businesses. Are we done?
No,
30 seconds, okay. So, businesses that come here are opportunities. We want to make sure we have opportunities for people of all skill levels. And we are attracting jobs and supporting and retaining our existing businesses so more people can live here, work here, and can earn a living wage. I do support a living wage and an increase in the minimum wage. I do think that needs to happen at the state level.
Well, you might be surprised that I disagree with County Executive Jan Gardner. So the ALICE report, let's go over what happened in the ALICE report. The ALICE report just came out and said that Frederick County now is equally as expensive to live as Montgomery County. I know that's shocking to a lot of you, but our property taxes and our cost of living in Frederick County is now equal to Montgomery County. That's very discouraging because a lot of us lived here and chose Frederick County as our home because it was affordable at one time. So there are a lot of people who cannot afford to live here. One of the problems that people are having is property taxes, and that is part of my platform and part of the platform of the Hogan team for Frederick County. What Governor Hogan has tried to do on the state level, that I've supported him both on my committee and locally, is to make sure that we don't have tax increases that further burdens the middle class and those who are not even middle class. So now we have a situation in Frederick County where the property taxes have gone so high, and what happens is, what if somebody is a renter? What happens to that renter if the landlord's property taxes go up? That landlord is going to have to raise that rent, aren't they, to try to cover or to break even or to make their expenses. So by government's involvement in the very things like the living wage, we actually end up harming the very people we seek to help. I did vote against raising the minimum age in, I don't know who you are, but if you're in the front row and you're making gestures like that, I don't think that's fair to me. So if you don't mind sitting in the back, if you're going to act like that, that's really not appropriate. Everybody up here will have a fair shot, hopefully, to say what they believe, and I think the audience should be equally as respectful. So anyway, I did vote against the minimum wage increases. what ends up happening is those very people we seek to help end up being harmed by it. Those jobs turn to automation, and so I would not support those same things that the county executive had expressed.
Talk to us, please.
Thank you. I would be different because I would be trying to hire large companies and bring large companies to Frederick County, to Emmons, to Thurmont, because we found that large companies are able to pay the higher salaries. Large companies, in most cases, would be more stable, and they would be able to provide benefits for their employees. So I would be in favor of recruiting large companies. But I would also want to make sure that these companies are social, responsible companies. So those are the type of companies that I would go, that I would recruit. Social, responsible companies are the type of companies that get involved in the community. They make contributions to the communities. They have foundations that are able to support the needs of the community. So those are the type of companies that I would recruit. They are the type of companies that would support a living wage. And so that would give everybody a shot at being able to make the type of salaries that they would be able to have a budget that would allow them to be able to live comfortably. I think we also need to educate our children to give them the skills so that as we're bringing in companies with, we read about the STEM type jobs that many companies say they have the openings, but they can't find the required, they can't find the workers that they need. So we need to train all students. I don't care what the student looks like, where he lives, where he comes from. He can learn. He just needs our support. We need to provide them with the tools that they need so they'll be able to qualify for the jobs that we